Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last day of the IoT Solutions. My name is Rebecca Crowe, and I work for Sigfox in Spain, and I'm very pleased to introduce to you Andrés Escribano, who is the Director of New Connectivity in Telefonica, who is one of our main partners for developing the IoT low-power ecosystem worldwide. Can you see the presentation? Yes. Excuse me. The point of this today is Sigfox and Telefonica have been working for over 4 years together in order to develop special use cases in the business around low-power connectivity. And the point of this is to show and to prove to the ecosystem that we are working hands in hand with key operators like Telefonica to bring groundbreaking services and talk business to end customers worldwide. I'll let you pass.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. The first thing that I would like to explain a little bit is why, like an operator, is, let's say, is quite important, this kind of relationship. The first thing is, let me introduce a little bit the strategy about the connectivity in general when we're talking about the Internet of Things. The first thing is the first time that the market developed a network that is defined to support the things requirements, not the customer requirement, no mobile phone, not the tablets. It's really supported the Internet of Things demand. And we evolved the network in 2 ways. The first one is the evolution based in performance, maybe more traditional and more close to your view. Means we try to put more mega, more giga per second and reduce the latency. Obviously, the use case, autonomous car, or maybe robots in the case of industrial approach. But we have other, it's the first time that we have other evolution. It's evolution in the simplification. We reduce the complexity of how the things are connected to our networks, and reducing different components. We reduce the complexity in the hardware, we reduce the complexity in the protocols, and we reduce the complexity to integrate with our networks. And we define and support other kind of requirements. Here, the important thing, for example, is the battery duration. We don't talk about days or weeks, we're talking about months and years. We, let's say, create more deep indoor penetration, means we are able to extract data from location where previously was very difficult access. And we have other kind of, the more important thing for us, that is simplify the hardware itself. It's one of the more important part of this kind of, let's say, of a strategy, because it's the first step to be massive in the IoT approach. And why Sigfox? Why Telefonica decided to invest 4 years ago in this kind of journey, common journey with Sigfox? Simple reasons. we're a big company, and we're thinking in different histories or different perspectives. We decided to explore how other companies, how other partners are attack the Internet of Things, let's say, opportunity, and learn about this kind of, let's say, common journey. And we use many capabilities that Sigfox has. For example, for us, it's quite important offer a national-wide coverage, and not only for a country perspective, in a regional perspective or worldwide perspective. Remember that we are a telco. We know how complex is this kind of things. The other important topic is the low cost. One of the barriers for many of the use case is the cost for the device, the cost for the connectivity, or the cost, or the total cost of ownership of the whole end-to-end view solution. We have a challenge to do that, and with Sigfox we are able to attack this problem, this issue. Again, the end-to-end solutions. We usually discuss with the customer we try to discuss with the customer about the business, not about the technology. A discussion about the technology, forget the more important part, is how is possible to help you to improve your business. Massive is the first step to really, let's say, jump from the B2B or B2B2C to B2C market. And it's a different step. And we believe that with this kind of solutions, with this kind of technology, we're able to do this jump. The last one is, the customer flexibility. In IoT, we are discussing with the customers in a very dynamic market. We need to understand your needs, and we are able to answer with not only a product that is static. It's a dynamic product that changes every day. And obviously, the ecosystem, because We are believers of the ecosystem in IoT. Nothing happens if we don't have enough partners, enough ecosystem to move the business. And this is one of the things that we consider very important for the relationship with Sigfox.
So for those who know perhaps a little bit less about Sigfox, we were launched in 2010 to push the limits of low power, to create a new low-power connectivity to give the voice to objects which could not be addressed by existing connectivities at the time. Since then, over 600 million euros have been pushed by Sigfox and our partners into the ecosystem to develop the network, the use cases, the devices, and more push is coming that way. We are unique in the sense that we are able to give a global coverage. You'll see more and more where we are present with a single SLA and providing connectivity to customers worldwide. But we're not a normal operator. We're not an operator. We are a connectivity offering that teams up with partners who encapsulate our connectivity in end-to-end offers to their end customers. Telefonica is one of them, but we have over 100, more than several hundred partners in Europe alone, but also in the US, going on in providing value solutions to end customers. As you can see, Complementary is one of our key points in our DNA, in our value proposal to the ecosystem. We are the lowest energy solution able to harvest batteries, and our batteries last and our devices last much longer than the average ecosystem in competing solutions. We have the lowest TCO. Our chipsets, our modules are below $2, and we can launch mass IoT, and we'll go further. We're even pushing that limit even further. And Complementary is key. We are there to add a new functionality to existing cellular. In fact, our first customer worldwide was an alarm business called Securitas Direct, who is using our connectivity as a backup to the cellular, using our anti-jamming functions in order to protect homes in several million homes in Europe using this. During our last week, we had our Sigfox Expo in Prague, where we announced major groundbreaking innovations to the ecosystem, and Complementary was there. I'll go through the other ones. We have launched now 4 new countries, so we're now present in 36 countries worldwide. We will be there in 60 countries at the end of 2018 at least, including the major ones. You will see very soon some major announcements on the Monarch, the Globetrotter device, where a Sigfox object can seamlessly roam on different bandwidths worldwide. So you can have a traveling object like a suitcase traveling worldwide and being tracked by the customers. And a very cool one was the Ivory proposal, where we are able to load Sigfox software into a very basic chipsets, the kind of ones that are in this remote control, and to create a Sigfox chip from a 20 cents with a 20-cent solution, and thereby being able to connect very simple things like envelopes, like bottles, and connect what is really impossible to be connected before. To go back on complementarity, and it's on the Telefonica stand as an exclusive basis at the moment. You'll see the GCT Semiconductor as a partner of us, who has loaded Sigfox stack on their chipsets and the software, so it doesn't affect the architecture of the chipsets. It works with LTM, with also NB-IoT and cellular, to be able to unleash new services there.
Okay, the first thing to show about this kind of picture is we are around us, there are plenty of different sensor or device that is extracting information, and every day appear more and more. Probably one of them, many of them, are not using only one technology. Again, depend on the use case that you need to cover, appear in a different approach. For example, we have more close to us like a consumer side. We have other more close to the city like an street lighting. Other thing of, let's say, sensor that is around the environment. The message behind of that is this is dynamic again, and we need to think in the use case that you need to support. The good news is we have today the tools to attack different combination of technologies and different combination of use case. And how is possible to do that? We have two elements critical to manage this kind of technologies in two sides. The first thing is the IoT platform that support in a digital way your business, integrated only one time to manage all these kind of different technologies. We have in Telefonica our smart end-to-end, like an IoT platform, and all these kind of technologies are integrated in the same platform. 2G, 3G, 4G, LTM, narrowband, and the future technologies, LTE advanced, other kind of technologies until it can reach the future in 5G. But the platform is only one side. We need the other side, the physical layer. We need to, let's say, guarantee that we are able to interact with the device. And for this reason, the chipset, the IoT chipset is critical. Today, other good news is, until the last announcement, we have this multi-tech chipset that is able to manage not only one technology, several of these technologies in only one piece of hardware with no critical or no drastic incremental cost. That is another important thing. All this kind of, let's say, of combination of platform and chipset allow us to design many use cases. An example of the use case, for example, is the case of Securitas, but we have more use cases. For example, thinking if we are using like a Sigfox, like a second technology to guarantee that in case something happens in a very critical device, we are able to confirm if the device is a device problem or is a connectivity problem. You allow a visit. It's a very high cost in operational when you use this kind of sensor around the world and you don't have, and it's quite complex, the physical access to this device. The second is, for example, security check. We confirm that nobody is trying to hack in my network or is trying to avoid with jamming the no authorized use of my device, for example. Or we use for sending credentials in other different area, in another different technology. Means it's a combination of two technologies working in the same piece. Other important use case for me is the case of the battery duration. Remember that one of the more important and relevant part for this kind of things, when we're talking about the Internet of Things, is how it's possible to put a sensor around the world and forget for years. If we use one of the advantages of Sigfox, that is the optimal use for the battery, and put for little, let's say, method the use of Sigfox, but when I need, for example, a firmware upgrade, or activate a camera, or activate other kind of video, etc., or audio, etc., we use other kind of technology, like an LTM, etc., etc. We, let's say, open the possibilities to manage in a different way and other different use case. And the last one is something simple, based again in the common sense. The future-proof. Imagine that we are designing a product that is able to support only a few number of data, but suddenly, after years, we decided to increase the complexity of the product and put more features. And these features need more information. And we are able to offer these kind of things without no physical change of the device because this technology is available. The combination of this kind of, let's say, different scenarios is possible to do that because the platform and the chipset is working together, okay? It's one of the advantages to these complementary technologies because when usually attack the business case or the use case only with one technology, you're thinking in, this is the future that I have and forget. With this kind of a scenario, it's in your hands to find the solution. Obviously, we need to coordinate with you how it's possible to do that and define how is interactuate the hardware and the platform. The good news is, again, we have a framework to do that. And I introduced the concept of our engineering lab that we will launch in practically in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that we call in the Things. The Things is our concept, not only for a country, it's a worldwide concept. We have several of them around the world. We have in Spain, we have in Germany, in Chile, we have in Brazil. This kind of, let's say, engineering lab allow us to test different technologies and working with you to define the right way to attack these kind of things. In different models, basic ones, you tested the technology and that's all. You have the possibility to confirm that it's working properly, or we offer the support for integrating in a more complex solution, designing the device with you, supported in engineering side, etc., etc. And we have the last part for our customers. For our people that really need to design the business case, we need to design a new process. The concept is the concept of innovators. It's a new support that we offer to our customers to develop his business, to real business. It's something that is based in the consultancy mode, where we structure the real important thing, not the technology, the business. We guarantee where is the goal, the KPIs that you need to measure, and identify the use case that really is important for you, like a customer. With these two pieces, we are able to put the ideas in a real world. We have today working with several customers to deploy this kind of new solution in different verticals, coming from, starting from smart retail, or starting from transport or logistics, etc., etc., because it's a huge opportunity to attack the business in a different way. And obviously, one of the important parts is the combination of this technology is based on the support of different sides. We have support for our engineering part, and we support this kind of, let's say, in case of Sigfox, directly by Sigfox. No?
Thank you. So the key takeaways we want you to leave you with. We obviously, by our nature, a little bit obsessed with connectivity, but our job is, and our work with our end customers has nothing to do with connectivity. We are able, by working together with a very solid value proposal, to have business discussions with the Telefonica teams and our team to support end customers with their use cases and build up very groundbreaking value proposals. The point of our partnership with Telefonica is to go beyond the technological debate. We have a unique proposal to give to the ecosystem. We also, the hybrid connectivity is how Sigfox was born. We're not there, we're there to add to the existing ones and to unleash new use cases. We're extremely proud of our partnership with Telefonica. We will be making some pretty major announcements very soon, which we can move the ecosystem and push some very exciting use cases with end customers. I'd like to thank Andrés again for his participation, and I open the floor for any questions you might have.
Only one remark, all these kind of things that we explain, you can visit in our booth, in both booths, and we explain later on, if you have interest, what is the new approach for this kind of solution, not only for the hybrid solution, for a specific, very big use case. Questions? Doubts? All clear? Many business?
We have a hand.
You explain complementarity between Sigfox and cellular connectivity, especially LTE-M. My question is, do you also consider there is complementarity between Sigfox and NB-IoT connectivity? And if yes, which one?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the chip has also got NB-IoT, not just LTE-M. But I'll let Andrés answer that question.
Okay, we are open to integrate other kind of technology. For example, if in many cases appears something like, for example, connectivity in a short range, like a Bluetooth or other ones. But in general, thinking that we are able to offer worldwide coverage, national-wide coverage, and our technologies or our proposal is based in how it's possible to use the coverage that we offer with our networks to support many use cases. Obviously, we are able to manage other kind of technology that maybe appears in the future in this national-wide coverage, like LTE Advanced, or the future that is coming in the different release that is supported by GSMA, or the next evolution that are coming from Sigfox. This is our strategy, not combine only technologies that is designed in a traditional point of view. We will introduce new technology as soon as the business needs this kind of new technologies.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that it's very, very seldom that a massive customer integrates one connectivity only. We announced last week a global framework agreement with Bosch, and Bosch is integrating many connectivities in their devices, including Sigfox. And we asked the question, why are you including Sigfox? And they said, because you're offering something which nobody else is offering, which is global use cases and global coverage. But they're also working with others. It's something different.
Hello. I would like to ask about your Admiral's Ivory announcement that you made. In this case, what are you thinking about? As kind of specific chipset with a really, really low price, something that is going to be distributed by you, or is a new technology that somebody is going to manufacture and we could integrate?
So Sigfox doesn't. We don't make chipsets ourselves. We work through partners. We have an open business model. We don't charge licenses to our partners. So the Sigfox Admiral is something which we announced last week. It still needs 2 to 3 months to be industrialized. The idea is to take very, very low-range chipsets on the market and talk to Asian manufacturers to be able to load the Sigfox stack on it and make it compatible with Sigfox. It will be a very downgraded and very low-cost offer. And there's no download possible, just one message when the envelope is open. But it's pretty huge in terms of pushing, again, the limit. We are all the time thinking of new use cases and new technologies.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope it was interesting for you guys. And again, very excited to give this unique value proposal to the market. Thank you very much.